Wow. So undercover video of Donald Trump's Attorney General, Pam Bondi, has just been released, and it shows that Bondi, likely on behalf of Donald Trump, is trying to cover up the release of the Epstein files. It's what we've been saying now over and over again. But a right-wing reporter named James O'Keefe was the one who launched this undercover sting operation against the right-wing Attorney General Pam Bondi, believing that Bondi was involved in this cover-up of the Epstein files for weeks and months, and with respect to Trump, for years. He said he was going to release it. He said he was going to release it. He blamed everybody else for being with Epstein. But we know it's always projection and confession with Trump and MAGA, because Donald Trump was, of course, very close with Epstein. So I want to share with you what James O'Keefe released. Again, he is a right-wing reporter, and he's the one who launched this undercover sting operation against Bondi, because he's pissed that he feels that he and other right-wing influencers have been lied to by Bondi. So they sent somebody in when Bondi was basically out at lunch a few days ago, and the person said that they were a nanny, just like a random stranger, shows up, kind of sits down next to Attorney General Bondi and starts asking questions about the Epstein files. Now, Bondi says things to this nanny that she's never even told the public, to a random stranger. Bondi says the reason that it's being delayed is because there's 10,000 videos of Epstein with children. Now, why wouldn't you tell that to the public? Watch what happens in this undercover video. Let's play it.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been...
Okay.
So...
Any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tons and thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
So, look, James O'Keefe got that video, and he said that he was going to release the video. So he had a series of questions that he posed to Attorney General Pam Bondi and said, why were you just telling a random stranger about those acts by Epstein and not the public? You've never cited that before as the reason for delay. Don't you think you should tell the American people that over some random stranger who says that they're a nanny at some place that you're eating lunch? What's your response? So then Pam Bondi gives a press conference, and she tries to get in front of the undercover recording by bringing out this information in public to try to preempt the release by James O'Keefe, the right-wing reporter, on what he uncovered through these secret recordings of Bondi. So here's what she then says to the public. Let's play it.
The FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently going through that. I haven't seen that statement, but I'll call him later and find out.
So then this caused an entire stir in the right-wing kind of media, far right MAGA ecosystem. Now, I would never normally play you a clip of Alex Jones. I'm going to play a very short clip, don't you worry, because I want to show you now that all of these MAGA influencers are now saying Bondi is covering up the Epstein files. And is she covering it up for Trump? They're getting very close to what's really going on here. Here's what Jones said. He goes, Bondi's covering up the Epstein files. Here, play this clip.
Our reports, and there's supposedly the first tranche of it's coming out today, that James O'Keefe's, one of the two big stories he's breaking is about someone in the Trump administration covering up Epstein. And then he put out a little short trailer yesterday that shows an image or still shot of video of Pam Bondi. But he wouldn't even say who in the administration. I made some phone calls, and I told the crew over the weekend, I said, it's Pam Bondi. According to my sources. And because The White House already knows about this.
Now, I want to remind you all that this was just 2 months ago when Bondi said the files were on her desk. She said they were going to be released. Remember when she said that? We've got the receipts for that as well. Play this clip.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president. Not yet. I was briefed on that yesterday. I can't talk about that publicly, but President Trump has given a very strong directive, and that's going to be followed.
Wow. Okay. So
a lot of documents.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people can expect actual movement on this. It's not just empty promises.
Oh, Donald Trump doesn't make empty promises.
Yeah, right.
I think promises made, promises kept.
Now, she was forced to say that after she brought in all of those MAGA influencers to the White House a few months back, and she handed them a binder that said the full Epstein list, the full Epstein files. And it wasn't. MAGA influencers made a mockery of these serious crimes with real victims, helping the government hide the Epstein files so many Americans demanded. They tried to gaslight even their own followers, and they got exposed because it wasn't the Epstein files. It was Jeffrey Epstein's call list that was released in like 2018 and 2019 that was already public. By the way, Donald Trump was spotted in Jeffrey Epstein's personal address book call list with a full list of contacts. We have it right there because Trump was one of Epstein's closest friends. But all the other files have not yet been released. Now, do you remember when Donald Trump went on Fox during the campaign and he was asked, so you said you're going to release it. Are you going to release it? And remember Donald Trump's response, how weird it was? He's like, yeah, I'll release the JFK. I'm not sure so much so about the Epstein, because he's like, some of the stuff in that world, I don't know if it's true or something like that. Here, watch what he says here. Play this clip.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
And folks, a lot of unusual things, sad things rather, have been happening recently as well. Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most high-profile victims, who's living in Australia. She died by suicide in the past 2 weeks. Tragic, tragic situation. Marjorie Taylor Greene posts, Jeffrey Epstein accuser, Virginia Giuffre, died by suicide. The truth needs to come out more, no matter who is responsible. You have people like Nancy Mace out there saying, we want to know more about Epstein. I mean, obviously, that this is coming from Donald Trump, but listen to what MAGA Republican Nancy Mace says. Play this clip.
Right before our eyes. And they are doing this in real time with regards to the Epstein list, which the government still has not released today. And the American people deserve to know who rich and powerful is on that list and who the government is covering up for.
So you ever try to sleep with one mosquito in the room? That high-pitched buzzing near your ear, the frantic lights on, lights off routine trying to find it, only to wake up the next morning covered in bites? That used to be me every summer night in my house until I reached my breaking point. Introducing this episode's sponsor, Bzigo Iris, your smart home mosquito detector. Bzigo Iris is a cutting-edge device that uses computer vision and AI to detect, track, and pinpoint mosquitoes in real time. No more guessing, no more swatting at thin air, just a simple, precise way to finally take control of your space. It scans your room 24/7, even in total darkness, thanks to its night vision tech. When it spots a mosquito, it marks it with a safe laser and instantly alerts you through the app, whether you're in the room or halfway around the world. It's chemical-free, eco-friendly, and honestly, it's kind of genius. And if you're traveling, Bzigo's got a travel mode too. So stop losing sleep over mosquitoes. Take back your nights with Bzigo. Go to bzigo.com/ bzigo.com/discount/Meidas and save 10% off. That's bzigo.com/discount/Meidas, MEIDAS, and use that code Meidas to get 10% off. Say goodbye to itchy bites and sleepless nights. Thank you, Bzigo, for sponsoring this episode.
May I posit something? May I give you my hypothesis, my opinion? I think that Donald Trump is telling Pam Bondi to slow roll and deep six the entire Epstein thing. Look, folks, I've done a lot of videos on this, so I won't recap all of the things that I've, done deep dives into this, but just look at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. She was the sex trafficker for Epstein. She's in jail for the rest of her life. Donald Trump wished her well when she was going to trial, when Trump was asked, I wish her well, he said. Also at the trial, testifying at Maxwell's trial in New York City, a woman identified by the pseudonym Jane Doe said she met Donald Trump in the 1990s at his Mar-a-Lago resort when Epstein introduced her to Donald Trump at the age of 14. Release that. Make that public. That's, she's using a pseudonym. There's grand jury testimony. I want to know what went down there. Why do you think Donald Trump doesn't want this stuff released? We know from the other cases where things have been released, Donald Trump is on Epstein's flight logs at least 7 times. That's only a partial flight log. There's way more flight logs out there. Donald Trump's all over the deposition transcripts of Epstein sex trafficking victims. Epstein was on Donald Trump's flight. Trump said that Epstein's a great guy who likes girls on the younger side or women on the younger side. Let's show you right here. This is a compilation that shows you just a small glimpse into the Trump-Epstein connection. Here, play this clip.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president says now, he never liked Epstein.
Now, we do our own independent research here at the MeidasTouch Network. So I had Michael Wolff, who spoke with Jeffrey Epstein when Epstein was alive, before Epstein died by suicide, as it's alleged. And Michael Wolff said that he's got hours and hours of tapes with Epstein. And Epstein said that he was like Trump's closest friend. Like, they're as close as can be. And Trump said Epstein likes young women. Which I think he means girls. Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide, worked at Mar-a-Lago. Epstein would find the girls at Mar-a-Lago. Ghislaine Maxwell would show up at Mar-a-Lago. Virginia Giuffre was homeless. She got a job at Mar-a-Lago. Ghislaine, in the 90s, went there, brought her back to Epstein, and that's how Epstein found her, at Mar-a-Lago. Okay? Here's what Michael Wolff tells me. Let's play it.
He sat for many, many hours of discussion with me. Certainly 80, 90, probably 100 hours I have of Epstein on tape. And one of the discussions, because this was occurring, Trump became the president in 2017. I began writing about Trump. And so we spent a lot of time talking about Donald Trump and Epstein's relationship with Trump, which went on for a good, certainly 15 years, and was incredibly close. They were each other's closest friend for a very long time. And Epstein, I think Epstein is one of those people who truly knew Donald Trump, knew many secrets about Donald Trump, and was threatening to Donald.
So let's use some critical thinking here. So now, two things have either happened. Either one, Pam Bondi has been covering up from the public that there exist tens of thousands of Epstein tapes. Or Bondi is saying that in order to cause further delay, which would be disgusting and vile. Or both. You tell me. But, it's strange for me to have to say this in a video, but James O'Keefe got a good video right there, I think. This stuff should be released to the public. Absolutely 100%. Will you tell me what you think? Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.